The city was drowning under a heavy South American storm. Lightning ripped through the black sky, and the rain fell like shattered glass. Dr. Ricardo, a world-renowned heart surgeon, sat behind the wheel of his luxury SUV. He was a man of cold precision and immense wealth. To him, time was money, and feelings were a weakness. He had just finished a long shift at the elite private hospital and was rushing home to celebrate his only son's 10th birthday. His son, Leo, was his entire world, the only thing that could soften Ricardo's icy heart. As he turned onto a deserted road, his headlights caught a figure standing in the middle of the downpour. It was an old man, soaked to the bone, wearing a tattered poncho and sandals that were falling apart. The man was waving his hands desperately, his face pale and eyes wide with fear. Ricardo tapped his brakes, annoyed. The old man ran to the window, knocking on the glass. "Please, sir, my granddaughter, she's collapsed in our hut just down the road. She isn't breathing right. Please, I need a doctor or a ride to the clinic." Ricardo looked at the mud on the man's hands and the rain dripping from his dirty clothes. He looked at his expensive leather seats and then at his gold watch. "I don't have time for this," he muttered to himself. He rolled the window down just an inch and shouted, "Move out of the way. I'm in a hurry. Call an ambulance if you can find a phone," the old man pleaded, crying now. "Sir, please. There is no one else. She's only a child." But Ricardo didn't listen. He revved his engine, splashed the old man with muddy water, and sped away into the night, leaving the stranger kneeling in the dirt, sobbing. Ricardo arrived home, wiped the incident from his mind, and hugged his son. The party was beautiful, filled with expensive gifts and laughter. But at midnight, the laughter stopped. Leo suddenly clutched his chest and fell to the floor. His face turned blue, and he struggled for air. Panic seized Ricardo. He was the best surgeon in the country, but in that moment, he wasn't a doctor. He was a terrified father. He rushed Leo to the hospital, his heart hammering against his ribs. After hours of tests, the diagnosis was devastating. Leo had a rare and aggressive heart condition that had gone undetected. He needed an emergency transplant, and he needed it now. But there was a problem. Leo had an extremely rare blood type and a specific genetic marker. The hospital's database showed no matches. Ricardo used all his power, calling every hospital in South America. But the answer was always the same: no donor available. As dawn broke, a young nurse approached Ricardo. "Doctor, a young girl was brought in a few hours ago from a remote village. She didn't make it. She had a brain aneurysm, but her grandfather has stayed by her side. We checked her records, and she is a perfect match for your son. She could save him." Ricardo felt a surge of hope, but the nurse's face remained grave. "However, the grandfather is refusing to sign the papers. He says he no longer trusts the world or the people in this city. You are the only one he might listen to." Ricardo ran to the small, dim waiting room. There, sitting on a wooden bench, was the same old man from the rain. He was still wearing the same wet, muddy poncho. His eyes were red from crying. When he saw Ricardo, his expression turned from grief to a cold, hard stare. Ricardo froze. The realization hit him like a physical blow. This was the man he had left in the mud. This was the man whose granddaughter died because he was too busy to stop. Ricardo fell to his knees. Tears streamed down his face as he grabbed the old man's hands. "Please, I'm sorry. I was blind. I was arrogant. My son is dying, and only your granddaughter can save him. I will give you everything I own. I will build a hospital in your village. Just please, save my son." The old man looked at Ricardo's expensive suit, then at his own rough, trembling hands. He stayed silent for a long time. Then he spoke in a low, cracked voice. "My granddaughter is gone because no one stopped to help. You had the power to save her, but you chose your leather seats over her life." Ricardo sobbed, putting his forehead on the old man's feet. "Forgive me. Don't let my son pay for my sins." The old man closed his eyes, and a single tear fell. After a long silence, he stood up and said, "I am not like you. I will sign the papers. Not for your money and not for your apologies. I will do it because my granddaughter would have wanted to save a life, even the life of the son of the man who turned his back on her." The surgery was a success. Leo lived. But Ricardo was never the same. He resigned from the elite private hospital and moved to the old man's village. He spent the rest of his life working in a small clinic he built there, treating the poor for free. Every time it rained, he would stand on his porch, looking at the road, hoping that if someone ever knocked on his door, oh,